The second Breath of the Wild sequel trailer just dropped. In summary, my reaction was something like, but now I'm going to analyze it, because I'm good at analyzing, and everyone else sucks. Let's go. First shot. Ganon's tentacle-like Malescoop. It latches onto and maybe infects Link's right arm, and naturally is like, oh f***. Also, the Master Sword? Present. This is obviously a recap or continuation of whatever was happening in the first trailer. Ganon, of course, notices what he did to Link and is like,
yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for! That's what it's all about!
Also, his clothing is a little similar, although tattered, to what we see later. Skipping ahead a little bit, we notice that the hand from the other trailer maybe noticed Link passed out naked in the ruins, and that Ganon gave his arm gangrene and was like, ew, ow, fuck, I gotta get that Ganon shit out. And so it fuses with Link's arm. Also, look at those nails. Damn.
Nails, hair, hips, heels.
I'm gonna guess by this scene, this is right before you're going to be able to play. You're naked, you just got a thing, and the game will probably want to show you how to use your new gross arm stuff. And for the last shot of the recap, we see that Zelda just dies. She's dead. So multiplayer is out the window, I guess. Speaking of out the window, Link might have just jumped out of one. And I just gotta say, these are some good clouds. I appreciate the clouds, like damn, look at them. Being all dynamic, 3D, I wanna paraglide through them. I wonder if they're going to change how the weather works in the game. Maybe the clouds will make it so that it really does rain in other places, but not others, instead of just changing as you go to different places. Anyway, back to the focal point. Some people are thinking that this is Zelda. And just let me have you look at what they're wearing. If this is Zelda, she's definitely got a titty flying around doing some Free the Nipple campaigning. And I'm perfectly fine with that, but I'm pretty sure Nintendo isn't. Also, we see a couple of times that it is clearly Link who got his arm all fricked up. We can also see that the arm has in fact fused with Link, giving him the cool bracelets. Link also obviously took some inspiration from Ganon and his drip, because now he is wearing the toga-looking thing. Just not tattered as heck. Maybe this is some starting clothes. Link went through Ganon's closet while out in the ruins and picked out something he liked. Then the game drops you into the world like this for a beautiful opening. Link also has ditched his hair tie, letting his golden locks flow. And before anyone thinks that his hair got longer, let me just remind you how much that ponytail held back Link's luscious locks in the original Breath of the Wild. I am hoping that this hairstyle, or maybe even others, aren't limited to certain headgear. I have been wanting to change Link's hair since the title reveal of the original Breath of the Wild. The floating islands below, I initially believed to be part of the Akala region lifted up, due to the golden-looking trees looking like it's autumn setting. But the architecture found in these islands is just something entirely new. I'm starting to wonder if areas like this are not even necessarily part of Hyrule, but instead a separately loaded sky area. Maybe that's how dungeons will work. The next shot, we get to see the same kind of area at nighttime. Link gliding on a newly designed paraglider, and some new weapons, perhaps native to the region. Looking in the distance, one of the first things to notice is this large temple-looking structure. Maybe it could be part of the dungeon, or maybe this sky zone acts as a dungeon by itself. There are also smaller structures on the islands, though I can't say any of them look like houses or like they're inhabited. Also, how freaking high up are we? We're above the cloud layer. Can you just drop down back into Hyrule? I really hope so. I don't want these areas to be separately loaded. Next scene. Birds. Birds are confirmed to return. This is epic. Link is now walking on the islands we've been seeing. Beautiful shot. We get a closer look at the trees. They're definitely not the Akala trees. They've all got yellow leaves. Then we get to look at this thing. It looks like we're still in the same kind of floating islands. Clouds are low, so we're still high. Yellow trees, more of that architecture, but even closer than before. I'm going to guess that this thing is some kind of mini-boss for the area. And that screen right here is an indicator of which ability you need to use to defeat him. Right now it's displaying a broom, so that means the broom rune is confirmed. Now we are back to the Hyrule we know. We see a bokoblin encampment on top of a stone talus. Neat. Bokoblins now have moblin horns on their heads. Honestly, just probably a way to change things up to make them look new. We also briefly get to see these pillars in the background which weren't there before. And also that parts of Hyrule Castle are still grounded. Either it's still there and you get to play before the shit goes down, or it's just the fact that not all of Hyrule Castle gets lifted up into the sky, as we see later. There is another slightly elevated bokoblin camp on top of this hill. Is it another stone talus one? I don't know, maybe. Throughout the entirety of this shot, we don't see a single floating island in the sky. Do the islands in the sky not all appear at once? Maybe you have to unlock them, or maybe they are truly a separately loaded zone, which I really do not prefer. Although there is this thing in the corner at the last few frames. My brain doesn't understand it, and I'm not going to try, but it looks new and interesting. The green hand happens, already discussed it. This scene, we get to see a new magic ability, which appears to be reversing the time on objects. People are comparing this to stasis, and while I did too at first, one of the only things it actually has in common with stasis is that it's yellow. Link isn't using a Sheikah Slate, he's using his new magic right arm. The metal ball was rolling down the hill, the game saves the path it's taken, and then reverses it when the ability is used. We also get to see the yellow indicator showing where it's going to go. The screen also transitions into a less saturated view. I'm wondering if this is an indicator of Link being able to have fine control over the spiky ball's movement. Maybe you can keep making it go forward and back in time to basically swing it around, instead of strictly only going back. Notes on the area, we see a moblin with a helmet, metal boulder, metal barrels. I'm sure magnesis is gone, but maybe there's another ability involving metal that will make these useful. Also, look at that moblin's stupid hat. Idiot! Next shot, Dragon Breath Shield. That looks really freaking tiring to hold up, damn. Link burns this gross ceiling worm thing, which seems to be guarding what looks like a tomb. It's probably Zelda's because she's dead. There's this water droplet in reverse, which I personally feel is completely disconnected from the scene it's paired with. Water droplet is cool though. Still equipped with that new bow and sword, but no shield, Link uses his glowy arm power to clip through the ceiling. Way easier than doing instant shield clip. We're back at the floating yellow tree islands, but with more structures to look at. Though this time we get to see the land below, which again, I really hope that means they're in the same loaded area as Hyrule. It could still just be an illusion, like what Va Meadow does. We can now tell where this is, however. It's somewhere above where the Ridgeland Tower was. You can see the Gerudo Highlands, Illumani Plateau, Wash's Bluff, and the general Hyrule Ridge area. Then we get to see the castle rise, leaving some of it behind like the first gatehouse. Leaving us with the sunset shot of Hyrule with the castle floating. I imagine this dark energy surrounding the bottom will stop us from just flying up there or something like that. Also, that rock skull camp. That wasn't there before. Who the heck put that there, and how? Zelda's lullaby plays, but only half of the song because she's dead. That's my analysis. Let me know, hopefully in only 1 year, how good my eyes were at seeing things correctly. Bye!